my life because I've always been re-experiencing my past. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna sit here. Hopefully I'm in a thing.
Yeah.
So I've been just reliving things, but allowing when things come up to allow myself to, cry happy tears. Like I've never mourned that person. I've never given her space. Even when I write my books, like Breach was about sexual assault, Twisted Pleasures about the domestic violence. Girlfriend Let's Talk About It was my first book, and everything was in there. And I was so I wrote in like first person. I told my story, and I was very adamant about the details, and because I wanted people to relate. Like if I missed anything, if I left anything out, my feelings, my emotions, and the smell of the room or the how I reacted to like the refrigerator clicking sound, then I think I thought that would be the key point that got people to connect with it. But I wouldn't. It was a good story, and I was like, oh my God, I read it and was like, this is so good. But it wasn't until the final page was done and the final reread was done that I ever allowed myself to connect with that. That's not a story. That's your life.
Yeah, that was you.
That's me. And so when that came up, and it only happens, it's like I'm having outer body experience when I'm writing it, but I write it in first person. But then after it is done, then I realize it's me, but I immediately take myself out of it and move on to the next project. I never allow myself the space to decompress and sit with it. So I find myself now just talking, and then like things will come up and I get very emotional, but I remind myself again that I'm in a safe space, and it's okay to cry for that girl. It's okay for, to acknowledge the person who went through these things and that it was painful and that you have emotions towards it, but I don't allow it to. She deserves that. She deserves it.
You deserve that.
So that it doesn't, I don't allow me to become depressed or overtake me to the point whereas I'm in a negative space. Where all the negative thoughts of, oh, you've been through this, you've been through that, and it becomes a negative thing. But I allow myself the space to acknowledge and agree for the person who survived those moments, and shed a tear for her when no one else was there for her, to acknowledge her as the hero of my life. So I am now experiencing my life instead of re-experiencing the traumas that I've been through.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
That's where your purpose comes in, like your mission comes in with the work that you do in the community.
Definitely.
That also contributes to the healing process.
It does, yes. It's vindication. I feel, my last book, more than enough, I dedicated to myself. I dedicated it to Sherelle, Vanessa, Jaya Hogan's, my whole name. I dedicated that book to her, to me, to the young girl who survived all those things. And it's like, I found our voice. And I promise you, I'm never going to let it go or put it aside for someone else again. So it's vindicating her, acknowledging her, celebrating her, because the person I am today she is a huge part of that makeup. And that's why I'm so radical about my advocacy for the traumas that I deal with domestic violence, sexual assault, depression, suicide, even with teen pregnancy. My first pregnancy was when I was 17. 17 to 22. So just dealing with all of that, and the emotions of that. So that's me.
You made it.
Honey,
You're still making it.
Yes, I am, and I'm excited. I feel like I'm aging backwards, and I'm being redeemed. My life and time has been. Yeah, it's been my life and time. My life and the time is being redeemed for me, and I'm experiencing life like never before. And it's a different perspective of life when you remove the trauma triggers, when you don't see it through like the trauma glasses or a trauma view. It's a whole new world that you really didn't acknowledge or allow yourself to acknowledge, because as soon as something happened, it's those trauma lenses come on and you see it through, oh, this happened to me before, I know what this is like, and that whole I'm not valued, all the things of insecurities and, false perceptions of yourself, it comes up. It's like automatic, and it's like, okay, no, put this down. That's not what's happening. I'm not there. That was then. Let me be present in this moment.
Yes.
Let me be present in this moment and deal with what presented itself in this moment without comparing it to the moments that held me hostage or hurt me in the past.